Hello, everyone. Welcome. Come on in. Boy, crazy morning so far. I don't know about you, but it's been crazy for me. And I had to sort of um, things I do to combat information that I'm receiving or information overload. I clean and I do some things that really need to be cleaned. I go in and do it. So we had a stand-up fan that how fans get really dirty. Anyways, took it apart and cleaned it. Um, and went around, dusted, did some other stuff and cleaned up. And the reason I do that is because I'm processing a lot of the information that's coming in, especially not only from the astrology, but finding out that when you do things and you predict things and you say things, and then you tell people, more information is going to be coming out by the end of the year, which is 2021. And um we're going to have a lot of people's reality shattered, and that is exactly what's happening right now. And where other governments or other places are, people are not wanting to hear the information that is coming out either through the CDC, and blatantly telling people, well, yeah, now we're collecting evidence on this. Yeah. And you're just like, you guys knew this? Well, even though we knew they knew this. Project Veritas, which I do follow, and I know they back up their shit. I mean, they go in, they're investigative reporters. There's a reason why people don't like them, is because they back up their shit and they make sure that whatever they're going to put out, they have triple checked everything. And you know, it's the information in the document that came out of exposing Fauci yesterday that they had. It's a 7-minute clip. You can go on Project Veritas to watch it, and all the documents that came out of the Pentagon, um, stating. And the thing is that the information that came out was supposed to be classified, but the person, whoever filed it, decided, no, I want this information to come out about the elixir. And and the truth about it, the truth that I've been saying all along too with it, is that it's not going to do what it says it's going to do, and it's going to cause other problems within it, and that many people are going to end up being reliant on some form of medication from it because of the of what is within it. And I'm didn't want to go into a lot of the scientific stuff about it. You could go there, you can read it, you can look for it yourself. Even with Joe Rogan is coming out, and he's bringing in more um doctors. And the thing is what I love about his platform is that he brings in, if people, if they come, from different backgrounds to, talk about the information. And that's what he does, and that's what he has done. And he's being that voice that others can't have, and being a voice of having over 11 million plus followers. So he is a voice that is coming out, that it really is, like, and he takes his job seriously. He's taking the responsibility of saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to question you. I'm going to ask these questions. I want to find out, I read this article or I read that article. What's the gist of it? So this is what's, with what he's doing, because they can't corrupt him. And within the documents that are coming out, that they have talked about, of how um the news sources had to, were told to hide shit, and that they are in alignment with Facebook, Twitter, Router, Washington Post, and that anything that comes out with more localized news or anything that is localized to make sure that it gets covered up. And they've been doing this since July of 2019 because they knew of the information. And when I tell people that this is what's going on, that the chemtrails, things that they've been doing for quite some time, because they've been trying to do it by aerosol and vaccinate people via aerosol in a through that way. And now this elixir going into the bloodstream is something that doesn't leave because of the synthetic spike protein that's in it, and that's going to cause for people a lot more issues down the road. And when I looked at it and I listened to what to the document, it's 7 minutes, and I read through some of the documents, and I was just like, holy shit, this is coming in where the information is blatantly showing us how much lies and deceptions that have been coming out, and how even they will even continue to try and cover this up in some way. And now they're going after our children and finding that it really this disease or this virus doesn't even harm our children. And the whole mask mandates, all of that, that push is that it does come down to follow the money. Follow the money. Follow that money of where who is getting paid off, right down to local mayors who get paid off in some way, or they are promised some extra funding in some way for their city, for projects, or if they have any other outside businesses outside of what they do, that they will make sure they get passed. So this is with the astrology, when I saw that Jupiter and um Saturn and Pluto conjunction that was happening through 2020, and telling people like, holy shit, there's a shit that's going to hit the fan. There are things that are not good. There's a lot of evil that is out there, and it is it's it's going to come out. They can't keep it hidden. But if you're following the narrative of it and falling into the casting of the spell, which I was, also talked about the spell being casted, that many, because they go with what, that trusted news source, what they trusted. And they looked at that trusted news source because they know, right? And that's part of the narrative, and now they're trying to do even cause even more segregation within people, within society, within of blaming or wanting to blame those who didn't follow the agenda, who didn't follow into the lineup, and wanting to counterattack and go after people who are unelixired. And this is where we're going to find a heavier um position and enforcement that is going to come down even more. And with Uranus, stationary, and will be going direct next week, and the nodes changing, and the nodes right now are at 0 0, and the Gemini, with the Gemini North node, right along where the Palladians are, and the star of Sirius. This is like very powerful energies that are coming in, of awareness, of awakening, to make sure that you are using your internal sight. What is your internal sight? What is that you are seeing that is truth? And that is with that energy of with the Palladians and that star system. And as the nodes change on Sunday, going from Gemini into Taurus for the North node, is saying to really continue to seek that truth. Are you seeing the truth? And are you seeing the truth within self and trusting in that internal sight? And that's going to be the guiding light. This is only, I'm going to say, day one of an exposure that is going to happen over the next several days. I'm going to say several weeks, as we are going to be heading in through the rest of December and going into February, or the rest of January, going into February. More is going to come out and more exposure is going to come out. And that has to do with that Uranus going forward and Mercury going, is going to be going retrograde. And then you're going to see a lot of things go really haywire, especially with Neptune in Aquarius. So we're going to find a lot of things, when it comes to communications, um, getting misaligned, getting interrupted, or trying to have the interruption happen. And we are going to really start to feel some crazy vibrations that are going to be coming in. Not only do we have the vibrations from our light source or the Christ consciousness, there's going to be also disruptive vibrations that are coming in with the new telescope that they just put online into space, and activating the mirrors that on this telescope. And it really looks like a hive, like a hexagram. And this energy of activation, for many of you who are, are extremely sensitive, you're going to start feeling a extra intensity of energies of vibration that are going to be coming in. And that's why it's so important to go into your internal light and go into your internal sight and trust, because this other energies that are coming in are really going to cause a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. You might feel it. It's kind of where you might feel it within the joint areas. So wherever the joints, like your knees, you might be feeling kind of weirdness within the knees, within the elbows, shoulders, different places where you get joint pain or joint inflammation. That's going to be coming in. Ankles, sturdiness, feeling a little bit wobbly, maybe not, you might get dizziness and feeling like, okay, I feel really out of it right now. What's going on? Or like you just walked through a vortex. And that's part of the new satellite, where they used to use the Hubble satellite, or the Hubble uh, microscope. Now they got a new one that they are implementing, and they're wanting to try and make it go all online. And I'm just kind of laughing because I'm like, okay, Mercury's going retrograde, Venus is going retrograde, and we got a full moon coming in with Cancer, and we have Uranus going direct and the nodes changing. So I think they're going to run into a lot of glitches within all of that. But through those glitches of turning it off and turning it on and things like that, we're going to kind of feel a little bit off centered with that. So again, that brings in some instability within our world and in our day-to-day realm. And so within all of this craziness and instability that's coming in, this is where we have to, stop and, look at what is working within our life. We got to start looking at what are the good things that are in our world. And I feel like this is also, um and it's funny, I was talking to a client yesterday, and he was saying, when he went into a meditation and he was talking to his God, and God was telling him, because he was really on the fence. He's been having difficulty finding work. I mean, he's very qualified for the work that he's applying for, but everywhere he went, they want him to do this elixir. And he kept on getting that you have to have faith. You have to have faith and trust within me. And I feel like even those who have gone through and done it, I feel like this is a time to really take a step back for oneself and really begin to step into your relationship with your divine and let them know I am putting my trust in you. Forgive me. I am sorry. Ho'oponopono it. You know, this is where the energy is saying you got, it's where the fallen angels come in, and the fallen angels just want more, 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 more. They don't they're not just satisfied with what the divine and what God has to give you. And when I say God, the goddess is always there. Just an FYI for people. So the God and the goddess to me are always together. They're never separated. So when you are that, wanting that more, and I mean that more in a very egotistical, greedy type of energy, of saying, I can't trust in you. I can't trust in that. I got to trust this. I got to trust in this mundane. And I know it's part of our earth walk, and I know many of us come in here to learn and figure shit out. This is really a shaking up of our reality. And this is really a shaking up of saying, we really have to come into that trusting energy. With the information that came out through Veritov, I pretty well knew what I didn't know exactly what was going to be said, but I had a good inkling of what kind of you know shit was going to start hitting the fan, and what for many people, they're still very hesitant on it and questioning. And I kind of take a step back and I'm like, you're questioning facts that are coming in, and but you didn't question anything else. You didn't question any of the other stuff. You didn't question, you just blindly accept it, what was being told to you by the governments, by the corporate media. You just blindly trust it without questioning, and didn't even think about the questioning, that you couldn't even question what it was all about. You couldn't even question what they were saying. You could not even question um, any of the information. And I was saying, and especially when Jupiter um, went retrograde in 2020, went retrograde back into Aquarius. And I'm like, holy shit, that's, there's some crazy stuff that's going to happen there. And bang, more information, or, of the, from June and then September going forward, of, of the, the information about the jab coming in. And, people we're scrambling. People are just, yeah, I just want to go back to work. I just want everything normal again. And what now they're finding is like, oh, this isn't going to bring back normalcy. And the things that were said that could work, they want it to hide away. The amount of I'm trying to think of the name, the hydry chlorophene, sorry, um, how much they destroyed, because that's a drug that has been being used for over 80 years, and there is a lot of it, and a lot of people really depend on this drug, that they went and they destroyed so many so much of it, so that it would be in short, it would be in people could not receive their medication for it. And many people use it for different things, from stress to pain relief and etc. So one of the I know there's just so much that's coming in, and one of the reasons I wanted to come in today is letting people know that we really have to step into um, our own truth and slow down, And because there is such a fog also that is coming in, and not to be going full throttle, that we really have to stop and we really have to find the things and the directions that we need to actually go into, and really come into that truth and our divine truth within, and can't be freaking out. And I know for myself, it's like that's why I had to clean. It's like, oh my God, this is a lot of energy that's coming through. And I had to really work through that energy, work through it, and really process it through my body, and the anxiety, so I didn't go down some craziness, because it's very easy for my mind to go, well, what about this, what about that, oh my God, because I in my brain sometimes it just doesn't shut up. Like, it can go 100 miles an hour, where right to a point where it's I can get anxiety to fall asleep. Like, I'm tired, I know if I go to sleep I'll be fine, but there's an anxiety, okay, what if this happens? It's like almost where it's being on guard, like having to be on guard, because there's a lot more coming in, and having to take that time. So that's where I really have to take some downtime and have a little routine before I go to bed, and do some breath work, and journaling, and then put myself to bed, kind of thing. And I'm finding that it's coming in more and more again, that of being on guard, because there's of a lot of that crazy frequencies of the darkness coming through, along with the angelic higher realm energies that are coming in as well. And we will find that, if you are struggling in any format mentally, um, this isn't a time to try and figure it out on your own. This is really a time of seeking out and looking for that extra helping hand that you may need. Booking in and getting a consultation with me, and or even trying to get a consultation if you need to see a psychologist, or some kind of counseling or coaching. Definitely, this is a time to really and you'll feel it, to get that to book in, because of the emotional stressfulness that's there, and you don't want to make it more complicated than what it already is. So the next few days, well, few weeks, are going to be highly intensive energies of great transformation and change for us, as we are stepping forward more into the higher frequencies and realms. And it's important for us, especially with Neptune, and we'll start to feel that Jupiter energy next week, as Jupiter is coming out of that shadow energy, and same with Saturn coming out of that shadow energy. So we're going to start feeling a little bit more of motivation of going forward. And with that Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, this is really a time to dive deep into our own spiritual selves, and our internal sight, and trusting that. And when we can't, we can hand it over to the Holy Spirit and ask for inner peace and a miracle. And that's going to be extremely important. It's like warning signs are coming up all over, and I feel those warning signs, because it's almost where I feel like we're like going like full throttle, like we're going light speed of energies within inside ourselves, and we're moving and we're diving and we're just woo, 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 through this all, and trying to um dive and dip out of different forces that are trying to hold us back. And this is where I'm like, no, let's just pull it over to the side. Let everything will pass. It'll pass, but you don't try to deke everything out. and go and do that. And I keep on, they keep on saying, don't be doing the full throttle, you know, you'll get to where you need to go. What is no longer in alignment is going to fade away. And that's going to be many things on many different levels, for our own selves, our projects, our relationships, and money. Money's a whole nother issue that's going to be coming in, especially next week with Uranus going forward, where we're going to find more of a dip in the markets um, and in the crypto coin and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of crazy fluctuations that are going to come in with that as well. So um, take time today. Take a time out for yourself. And if you can, go sit in a bathtub for a while. Get outside, connect with nature. It will be a really good one as well. And allow yourself a little bit of time. Make sure you're taking plenty of vitamin D, to make sure for your immune system and that. So you're bulking up on vitamin D right now is a good thing. And don't overcomplicate things. Try not to overcomplicate things. That's going to be an important one as well. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy with all of this intensity. It's where I don't, like it's like you don't want to go down a rabbit hole or you don't want to get over consumed with it. But this I feel is a lot more complex than it was like 2.5 years ago. And because we're coming into that truth time, that verification of truth, and seeing that that truth coming forward for within this world. So anyways, lots there, lots to unpack, lots to unravel. Definitely go, and if you can watch, it's 7 minutes long for that Veritas. You can go on Project Veritas website and the videos there. They're trying to, I think I think I got it posted on the Guru Mama page. I'm not sure if it's still there because I had a hard time posting it and getting it on there. It was crazy. Let's see. Whoop. Just checking. Oh, cute cat. Yeah. So it is there. Military documents about the gain of function contradicts Fauci's testimony under oath. So with DARPA. So it's there, and I'll take you to the Instagram page, and that can take you to more information that's out there and the documents that they have and it's crazy. It's crazy fucking shit. That's all I gotta say. So step forward, stay in your light, trust your inner voice, trust your divine. And you know what? All we can do is one step at a time. And that's all we have to do is just one step at a time. So shine your light and continue being those beautiful light sources that you are. And know that, with Mercury going retrograde, please back up your stuff. Make sure, because it's going to be an intense 3 weeks with Mercury going retrograde. And then Venus will be going stationary direct too through all of that. So it's a lot of like stop and stutter and energy sort of like shaking things up. That's why it's going to be feeling a little bit unsteady. But in that unsteadiness, you could still find a place of groundedness and find your grounding through it all. So know that you are divinely guided and know that you are a beautiful energetic being that is aligned with the universe and that you have stardust in your DNA. Have a blessed one, everybody. Shine your light. Go with the truth and the truth within, and that will lead you to where you need to go. Blessed be everybody. If you're wanting to book a consultation, go to thegurumama.com and let's get together and let me take a look at your chart and we'll see what the shenanigans of the planets have for you. Have a blessed one, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.